Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another session of Gifted Generations Presents Financeology 101. I'm one of your hosts, Robin Seegers, and the other host is.
Elroy Seegers.
And this session, we wanted to talk about living below your means.
Yes.
And you're probably wondering, what is that? What is living below your means? It means if you getting paid, I'm just going to throw a number out there, $1,000 a month, and then you spending $1,500 a month, you were living way above your means. And it's like, I can't spend 1,500 if I only got 1,000. Yeah, you can with credit cards.
Yep.
With credit cards, you can definitely go over your means.
Yep.
So what we're saying is, if you're making 1,000, let's try only spending 700 and saving 300, right?
Right.
So what are the points you wanted to address, Elroy?
Yeah. I know in some cases, my wife made a good point. If you're making 1,500,000, you spending 1,500. And that's really about money management also, because we all know in some cases, your bills is $1,500, so you just had a bad start as far as managing your money. We're saying when you have the ability and the time to sit down and look at your finances, she's right. You want to have more money coming in and less going out, and you want to look at your whole kit and caboodle as far as your finances goes, your money management, and you want to make sure that the rule you want to set rules for yourself. There's all kinds of rules out there, general rules. What I mean by that, general rules that's out in the public, that's out on the internet, that help guide you as far as how you can manage your money and live below your means and stuff. Here's a good example. So uh, when you get a raise, do you take that raise and you go out and you spend it by jacking up the credit card or by going out and buy a car? You already, like, you got $1,000 paycheck and you had 950 bills, and then you got a raise to $1,200. You go out and buy a car. It's like, hey, do you need that car? Is it a want? Is it a need? It's understanding what that purchase you're about to get into, uh, uh, as far as your finances. Living below your means does two things. It helps you to live better financially, so you can take that money that you have extra to invest in things, your 401k, your kids' college, a house you may want. Start saving for a car to pay for it in full or a bigger down payment. So living below your means gives you extra money that you can assign to something so you can use it later on. Building up your 401k is a good one. There's all kinds of vacations. I mean, all kinds of things every year that happens every year. Christmas happens, New Year's, Valentine's Day, birthdays, graduations, anniversary. Setting money aside for those things allow you to do those things living below your means, because you say, you know what, I got this raise. Let me start putting money away every month so that my wife and I, my spouse and I, can go on a vacation in June. But if you take that money and you go buy a car, it comes June, you're gonna put on the credit card. Now
Mm-hmm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
jacked everything up.
Right.
You know.
Because when you live above your means, that's stressful.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that. That's the
Because
second thing. That's the second thing. It causes
yeah,
stress.
it causes a lot of anxiety. Because
Mm-hmm.
in the moment when you're spending the money,
Mm-hmm.
you feel this euphoria, like, oh, I got the latest and greatest
Right.
whatever, I got this new thing. But then when the bills start rolling in,
Mm-hmm.
then the stress and anxiety hits, because now you have to pay for this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you don't have enough to pay for it. Now you're juggling your bills to see who's going to get what,
Yeah.
and now, so the euphoria you felt when you bought the item is
Mm-hmm.
gone.
Yeah.
And it's a cycle, because you have that euphoria, then you have anxiety and stress about paying for it,
Yep.
and then you do it again,
Yep.
and then it's a cycle that people go through
Yep.
that when they live above their means. And just to throw it out there, we know someone that's like that live way beyond their means, and when it hits, they go crashing down.
Yep.
But they would that euphoria of having this and having that and being able to see this and being able to
Hmm.
see, oh, I got this, and then when that bill start rolling in, the credit card bills and whatnot,
Right.
then they like, oh my goodness, but it's too late.
Yeah. So you got, one thing you want to do about living below your means is also keeping your major purchases at a reasonable amount. What I mean by
Mm-hmm.
that, you're gonna buy a home. Okay, should I buy this home for 250, or should I buy this home for $600,000? Should I buy this car that's 25,000, or the car for $35,000? So those kind of things. Once you buy those things, they're hard to reverse. Once you buy that house, you don't know it's going to be over underwater. You don't know when you get it if it's going to benefit you. You're going to have some equity in the house or not. Same when you buy a car, you drive the lot. What happens? That price drives down. So you want to get something that's reasonable. Here's a good example. If you had $35,000 cash and you said you need a car, I'm saying you need a car, not want a car, and you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna pick a car. Oh, I found a car that's $25,000. Yeah, that's good. Then you go to another dealership. Oh, this one got all the bells and whistles, 35,000, and I got 35,000 to pay for it. You know what? I got the money. So I'm gonna get 35,000, right? So think about this here. Why not get a car for 25,000, and you got 10,000 in your bank to save for something else? One of the rules that you hear about is like saying anything that you buy, you should be able to have it in your account or be able to pay for it 100% plus 25 more percent. What I mean by that, if I buy a car, it's gonna break down. You're gonna have to get tires. You're gonna have to need things for it. So that payment is just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So what about
Mm-hmm.
things that you're gonna need when something happened to the car?
Maintenance,
So that
insurance.
25% is like, here's an example. You got let's say your house payment is $2,800, $2,800, right? So 25% of the $2,800 is $700. So you gotta market your bill to $3,500. That's 25% more than what you would pay for the house. House payment 2,800. 25% of that is $700. 2,800 plus 700 is $3,500. That $700 allows you some buffer room for you, so when things go wrong, because things will go wrong with a house. Water
Oh
heater,
yeah.
roofing,
Yes.
whatever, the broken window, storm, floods, doesn't matter. Now you're like saying, well, we ain't got room, money to do all those things. Oh my gosh. So you want to build in some fluff monthly, not one time, monthly, so you can make those adjustments when things happen. It's when you don't make those adjustments and things happen. Now you like, oh my gosh, you start panicking. You start getting to deeper debt. You start making bad decisions. You start putting things on a credit card. You got to pay off the credit card. Your credit card balance is high. That's when it goes crazy. That's when the stress comes in. That's why you really got to sit down and make a plan. I know every time I get a raise or I get like a bonus, I typically do this right here. Let's say I get a bonus for $1,000. I take 500, put it away, and I take 500 and the other half, and I spend on my wife and myself, on the kids. Sometimes I get the kids some money, or sometimes me and my wife do something with it. But I have a plan for it. I might say, you know what, so instead of 500, I'm gonna put 700 in the bank and spend 300 on us. The thing is, don't get money. What's it, tax return time? And go out and blow a
Mm-hmm.
TV and cars.
Mm-hmm.
No, have a plan before you get that money. When you get it
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes a surprise to you, you're gonna start making surprise decisions. It's gonna come back to haunt you when that surprise bill comes in, and that surprise
Right.
bill is gonna be monthly. It won't be a surprise no more. So you got to
They
be wise.
I found it said a rule, a 50-50 rule, that
Mm-hmm.
when you get a raise or tax refund or bonus, take,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it's called 50-50. You take 50 and invest in yourself, in your net worth,
Mm-hmm.
meaning save it or invest in stocks or something, and the other 50 you enjoy. At least that way you're not blowing it all.
Yep. And here's the thing: I've been doing that for eternity. Before the internet became the internet, I guess, what I'm saying, before all these rules. That was something that I've always done since I've been married. I'm gonna give myself this, give my wife this, and do X, Y, and Z because I'm putting something away from a rainy day. You know, you have to plan. You have to know before you get it.
Right, right,
You really
right.
do. Um, go ahead.
I found another thing they saying that when you live below your means, you're not tied to a job.
Nope.
Say
Mm-hmm.
that your job,
Amen. Mm-hmm.
you lose your job or
Mm-hmm.
you don't like that job anymore, then guess what? Because if you live beyond your means or right at the
Mm-hmm.
amount you can handle, you always have to find a job that's paying you the same amount or more.
Right.
But if you live below your means, you can go to a lesser paying job because it's less stressful and you still be fine.
Yeah. Another thing, this is to me, it's like a box within a box. You get a
Hmm.
smaller box within a big box. And it's what I mean. One of the things they say is you track your spending. How you spend your money each day or how you spend your money. You should do that whether you put yourself on a budget. Now, what's what I mean by this right here? So me and my wife, she gets an allotment and I get allotment, right? So let's say hers is 200 and mine is 200. So that's a line item for us. So I don't have to track what I do with my 200 because I know when that 200 is gone, I'm not gonna get more money out of the account. So I don't really don't have to track it, but you do might want to track it to see what you're spending it on, right?
Hmm.
It's like
Hmm.
so it's like saying here's 200 to you, 200 to me. That's it, right? I want to say how did I spend my $200? I'm going to track it. How you spend yours, you want to track it. So it's like a box in a box. Is what I mean. Like I said, that's what I mean by that. You can track it to see how you spend it on, but it's a one-time thing every month that you get, or every 2 weeks that you get. So it's kind of like saying, yeah, you can track it, but your track is like, here's your money. That's it. I ain't have to track it within that same budget for the family because it's a two separate line items. One for you, one for me.
Hmm.
That's it. It's not like saying, give me all your receipts and let's see how we did this month. You know what I'm saying? You go spend your money and
Hmm.
I go spend some money and we put it on the budget saying, well, you spend 75 and I spend 80. So now we're bringing all the receipts back into the family budget. That 200 and your 200, my 200, your 200, that's part of the family budget. It's a line item. So it keeps it separate from tracking everything. You can do your own personal tracking to see how you spent your money. Like saying, man, I spent $200. What did I spend it on? I don't know. That's your line item. You can say, oh, I know that I did X, Y, and Z. So it does help to see how you spend it, but it also helps to say, I'm just gonna give you your piece and you can do what you want to with it. But you ain't getting no more. And that's typically what me and my wife do. We give ourselves a budget amount every so often, and then we live within that budget. So that's it. It's like that one link to us is like, here's your money and here's mine. That's it. She spends it what she wants to spend it on. I spend it what I want to spend it on.
And that was one of the bullet points that I had, that track your money often, how you spend.
Yeah.
That way you're mindful that you're not overspending.
All right.
And just to throw a plug in there, Elra and I have an app called Bags of Money app that will actually help you track your spending. So
Yep.
for Android users, go out there and download it and
Yep.
try it for 30 days free. And Apple users or iPhone users, we're working on getting that coding and getting that in the Apple Store. So, yeah, track your spending, see what you're spending on, what you're using your money on,
Yep.
and
Yep.
maybe there's ways you can cut things out that you
Yep.
really don't need,
Yep.
because you want to reach your financial goals. You
Yep.
don't ever want to be,
Strap.
well,
Right.
most of us do, we're stressed constantly because we're spending more than what we have coming in, and
Amen.
that's not a good place to be in,
Heck
because
no.
that's anxiety, stress, and it's too much. It make life is already hard, so you're making it harder when you do that. And I know we like to have nice things, and it's okay to have nice things long as it's within your budget or your financial plan. It
Yep.
definitely have it. So,
Yep.
but make sure it's within your financial plan.
And not only that, you want to sit and talk to your partner uh, about that plan. One thing I always do, what we just did recently, I sit down and we sit down and figure out what we're going to do for the year. And then I say, hey, honey, this is what we can do, what we can't do. And then we discuss it and figure out, do we got anything major purchases that got going on? We got anything going on with the house? Do we need to save money for this, save money for that? Now, this year, my wife and I will be celebrating our 35th anniversary. And I also turned the big 6-0. So I call it this my 60-35 year. So we sat down and I said, honey, this is going to be our budget for the next 6 months. Now, you okay with it? And she looks at it. She's like, I can do that. Now, if we need to tweak it, we'll tweak it. But we do that because we have some lofty goals that we want to do, for our anniversary or for my birthday. We just don't know. But the money will be there for us to do it when the time comes. Versus just saying, I don't know what we're going to do. Whatever. Come May, June. Hey, let's go to whatever. Let's go to California. Well, we haven't got no money for that because we haven't been saving for it. But when you live below your means, you allow that space, that money to save for whatever you do. See, people always think you got to save money for something. You can save money for whatever you want to be and do for when that time comes, like emergencies. That's like you don't know what's going to be, but you got money for it. Vacation, you don't know where you're going to go, but you got money for it. Christmas, you don't know how you're going to spend it, but you got money for it. So you want to make sure you put that money aside so you can have it when you need it. Not, I don't have it, let me charge it. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to make somebody else rich by paying the interest rate every single month because I can only afford the minimum payment.
And
You
that's,
want to
you know
avoid that.
what?
You want to avoid that.
Definitely. And that just struck me is that um, think about it like this. You're working hard to give your money to someone else
Right.
to
Yep.
become rich. You're working hard, you're earning money, and you're giving it to someone else,
Robert, we should start a bank.
right?
We should start a bank. They can give us that
Right?
money. Give us that money.
And and that's and that's what I say all the time when I see concert tickets that's astronomical, or I see some sneakers or whatever that's astronomical. I'm like, they got theirs. I got to get mine. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be paying you $200 for something. I'm
Right.
not lining your pockets.
Right.
And I say it all the time. They got theirs. I got to get mine. So
Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
spending that kind of money.
You're right.
So
You're
you're
right.
working hard to give your money to someone else. Yes, in return, you getting something, but that something loses its value the minute it gets in your hands because you purchased it, and now like the people that buy sell their used stuff on like those designer reuse consignments apps and stores, online stores. You pay for that bag at $3,000, but you ain't getting $3,000 back when you sell it because it's
Right.
depreciated in value.
Right. And another thing, I also think that when you plan, it does create excitement. Because it's like,
Oh yeah.
like, hey, we're gonna go on a trip come August. You're like, man, it got what 8 months away. But as you get closer and as you put money away,
Hmm.
it does. Well, to me, it does. I mean, you would think it with somebody else. You're planning for something that you can see you're going to attain, and you can start saying, "Oh, summertime, we're gonna buy clothes for this." You can do it piecemeally together while you get into that August date. But I think anytime you plan something, it should make you excited. It should get you up and
Hmm.
going. Like I
Hmm.
know, and then
Hmm.
it drives you to want to save more. I know my wife, she always says, I'd rather have the money in my account and then to see it grow. And once that ball starts rolling, you're like, what? You tend to spend less on frivolous things because you
Hmm.
see, I want my account to go and I can see how I'm doing it now. So now that money I was getting every 2 weeks, I'm gonna give you 100 back, or I'm gonna take 100 and do X, Y, and Z with it because I want more to go towards this goal than versus me just going out and getting things that I really don't need. What was it I said the
Right.
other day? I said the other day when we was cleaning the closet out. I said, man, because of COVID, we haven't wore a lot of clothes. I said, I got enough shirts for the summertime to last me almost 6 months. I said, this is crazy. I said, I cannot go out and buy another piece of shirt until I start wearing the ones that I currently have. And I know you the
Hmm.
same way. You have a
Yes.
lot of stuff. And it's like
Yeah.
saying, we don't need another thing. It's for us,
Mm-mm.
it'll be a truly a want not a need.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like wearing things I haven't worn in a long time, and it looks nice. I'm like, man, it looks good. Pulling things out. So maybe you need to do the exact same thing before you go out and buy something. Look in your closet. Look at what you already have. You may not need that thing. Take that money and save it. You know, getting coffee every day. How much that can be expensive. Maybe not
Mm-hmm.
get coffee. Do you need it? Do you want it? I make my own coffee every morning, straight black. Those little things. So I save money. That's what $6, $7 a day I save by making my own coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So there's little things
Mm-hmm.
you can do, and that's living below your means too. That's what it means. I mean, because I don't need that coffee. I can make it myself. So I'm be finding ways to meet our goal and beyond the goal that we had set for ourselves. And
And it's all about a feeling. I
yeah,
know that when people listen to this, it's a feeling they get when they
yeah,
have something new and shiny. It's a feeling, but
yeah,
guess what? That feeling goes away
yeah.
because if
When the
it
bill
made you
comes in,
feel that great, if it made you feel that great, you wouldn't need to go out and spend even more because
yeah,
that satisfied you. But it never does. It
yeah.
never does. You
Amen,
go to your
amen,
next thing, and then
amen,
once you get that, you go to the next thing. That
amen.
and that's how our sons did at Christmas or when they were younger. They worry us to death about giving them whatever, and we would give them like games and all of that, cartridges, game cartridges and all that, and the minute they got it, they were on to the next
Next,
thing.
next, next big thing.
It
Yeah,
was like, next, what's next on my list that I want? And then
yeah,
they worry us, and we working hard, and we give it to them, and then they like, okay, what's next on my list? That's just how we are.
right.
Once you get it, it's like, okay, move on to the next thing,
Yep,
and the feeling is gone, and your
yep,
money is gone.
yep. Got to plan better.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
well, it also helps you not live paycheck to paycheck too. So that's
yeah.
another important thing. You just want to be able to live within they call it live within your means, and that's what it means. You want to live within like the average amount of money that you got going out is not as much as you got coming in. Um,
Right. You don't want to be spending it
right.
all.
Or house
You,
poor, or car poor,
yeah, yeah,
stuff like that. So
yeah.
vacation
You
poor, you know.
right, right,
Doing
right,
what everybody else doing because you see them doing something, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do what they doing. And next, you get home like, man, that trip cost us $2,000. Now we're gonna pay for that. Put on that credit card.
right,
Now you got to figure it out. You want to avoid those kind of things as possible. Pay
right,
cash.
right.
Cash is your goal. Is it cash is king? That is true. Cash is always king. So
Yeah.
it's just
So just be mindful that
yeah, yeah,
just because you make $20, you don't have to spend $20.
yeah, yeah. Well, all
Just
right then.
just just start saving some of your money and investing in other things and preparing for the future,
Yeah.
you know?
This is what I look at it this way. The less I spend on those kind of things, the really it's really like looking at I'm investing to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm.
not, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not giving somebody else $500 on a car note that I can give $200 on. So I'm thinking $300. I may not know what to do at that point in time, but I'm still investing in myself because I have that $300 to do something with. So that's really an investment into me. Now me got to figure out what can I do with this money. If I spend the five hundred
Mhm.
dollars, it's like how I'm gonna make that money to pay for that bill. So anytime you live below your means, you're really saying, this is about me. I'm investing in myself. I'm taking care of me. I see me first. So if you start seeing that, start thinking like that, not how people see you, because people can say,
Mhm.
man, that's a nice car. Oh, get that high end car. You like, no, get them out your ear and start thinking first. Okay.
Right.
Well, all right,
Right.
honey, we
So,
can wrap it up. So, if you want to, we can give them all our tags and stuff, or how they can find us and locate us and stuff like that. Unless you got
okay.
anything you want to add, you want to wrap it up by do a wrap up summary you want to.
No, just be mindful of how you spending your money.
Amen.
Don't
Amen.
spend it all. Invest in yourself, invest in your
Mm-hmm.
future
Amen.
because you got to live tomorrow.
Yep.
You spend it all today, you're going to suffer tomorrow. So, and especially young people. Young people, you can start that now. You got have that mindset now.
I just, I just, I
When
just
you
saw,
turn 30, 40 years old, you be straight. You be
I just,
set.
I just saw a quote online, and it doesn't say who says it. It says it's pretty funny. It says, One is that the guy said, it's a guy who has a business. He says one client said it perfectly. Spending money is like transferring your wealth to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. You're making
Mm-hmm.
somebody else rich. Wow.
Yeah. You're
All right.
making
All right.
someone else rich.
All right. Wow. All right. So our podcast, you can find us at giftedgenerations-llc.com/podcast. That's actually our website. And on our website, you can find a lot of things. You can see how to download our app, some FAQs on there. So there's a lot of nice things on our website that you can actually use to your advantage. You also can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at Gifted Gen LLC. That's Gifted Gen LLC. You can find us on Instagram at gift.gen. And on YouTube is at Gifted Generations LLC. That's what it is to y'all. Gifted Generations LLC. And then you can also find us you can find our podcast, Financialogy 101 on Spotify, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio. And also my wife created a Twitter handle for us. It's at GiftedGen2019. And as my wife said earlier, we do have an app out there called Bags of Money. It's on the Android platform right now. We're working on trying to get it on Apple. And as my wife says, it's a great way to monitor your money to see how you spend it. Not only that, it allows you can project how much you have in your account months, weeks down the road. Once you put that, how often you get paid, the frequency on it, monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, and also when your bills, how often you have the expenses, monthly, weekly. It has an algorithm that you know, hey, based on your income and your expenses that you do on a frequent basis, just how much money you have on your account on this certain day. But it also allows you to put in any kind of statement. You get a one-time gift, you get a one gas restaurants. Once you put that one-time entry into the app, it's going to update your checking balance moving forward. So the app is pretty accurate as long as you keep track of how you do your information. And the good thing is about it is it does not have any information that we're collecting, like banking information, anything like that. It's totally independent on what you do and use. Right.
Right.
Any
It's,
anything on
it's,
that?
it's It's a standalone app. It does not
Right.
connect to your bank account, but
Correct.
it requires you to be engaged to your
Right.
finances
It's
because
yeah, that's it.
this day and age we swipe in order and
Mm-hmm.
we're not paying attention to how
Yep.
much we're spending.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a shameless plug, y'all. We're gonna try TikTok. We're gonna try to get out there on TikTok and do a little thing about this app. So we'll let y'all know when we got it up and running because we're
Yep.
trying to figure it out. You know, we got to get with the young folks to help us figure it out. So
Yep.
be looking for that at our TikTok, I guess, handle, I guess you will say, coming soon. So we'll be promoting the app. So thank you, everyone, once again for joining us. And I pray that this information and words of encouragement we provide on the podcast is truly blessing you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Appreciate
thank
you.
you, everyone. Have a good
Yeah.
night. Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.